All right, here we go. Marcellus Wiley, welcome back to VladTV.
My dog, it's good to see you. Happy New Year. All the pleasantries.
Thank you. It's been a few months.
Yeah,
man. It's been a few months.
Let's do.
Congratulations on, continuing your show bigger and bigger since last time.
Yeah, even though I got a smaller co-host, it's a bigger show. Everybody's clowning right now. Shout out to Jason Whitlock, my dog, and Emmanuel Acho.
Right.
It's been a great transition, man.
Yeah.
But a lot of things have changed over the year.
You guys have a dress-off every show, it seems.
Yeah, I lose all of them. 95% of them. I mean, he's half my age, and all he cares about is looking good. So he comes out in these skin-tight suits, and I'm like, he got muscles. I ain't got them. I used to have them, and so I'm just sitting there taking L's. But hey, it's for the fun of it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Well, I can't start this interview without talking about what just happened in the nation's capital.
Mm-hmm.
4 Trump supporters were killed, as well as a cop in the process of Trump supporters attacking the Capitol building. LeBron was probably the biggest, I would say, sports figure to speak on this situation.
Okay.
He said, we live in 2 Americas. I couldn't help but wonder if those were my kind storming the Capitol, AKA black people, what would have been the outcome? I think we all know it's no ifs, ands, or buts. We already know what would have happened to my kind if anyone had gotten close to the Capitol, let alone storm inside the offices and inside the hallways.
Yeah. Well, I disagree with LeBron in that assumption. I think that's where we are right now. I guess to kind of unpack and to really let you know inside my mind state, there's more than 2 Americas. If you've lived in America any amount of time, you understand it's probably infinite amount of Americas. Let's start listing them. There's a rich America, there's a poor America, there's a black America, there's a white America, and other ethnicities as well. There's a male America, there's a female America, there's a fat America, there's an in-shape America, as Acho realizes. I could keep going, brother. I've lived in so many. I lived in a Crip America versus a Blood America. I couldn't even cross major cross streets. There are so many Americas out here. And what's happening today, I think, because of social media and this transaction of information from everybody. So everybody gets to chip in with their 2 cents. And if you remember your high school days, not everybody in the class should raise their hand. Some people ain't prepared. Some people in the back of the class, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Whatever that is. And that's not necessarily LeBron, but when you get into assumptions, when you start saying something about a specific and generalizing it, usually you're going to be in a bad place. Think about it. None of us should speak for all of us, no matter what group you're trying to represent. And we're in that space right now where people are really doing that, and they want to be first. They want to be in the front of the line. They want to be the loudest, but not necessarily the most factually correct. I don't know what would have happened if it would have been my people there. My people were there before, but if you notice what people always say as cover, some of the choice words, a large amount of Trump supporters were white. Not all. Then you start to dive into the details, and the devil's in the details. Just like this summer with the BLM supporters and protests. A lot of them were black and white, largely peaceful, not entirely peaceful. Peep game right here. Because I used to go to games, Westchester Manual Arts, these rivalry games where you just knew 60s and Grape Street's gonna be there, they're gonna be banging, it's gonna be a prop, whatever it is. And largely, the crowd was nice and peaceful. Yeah, we were. My dad, I remember one time I had to run with my dad because of gunshots and stuff. And the crazy thing is, you can hear a synopsis, you can see visuals, you can see the television, everything could portray it one way. But in absolute form, very few things in this world work according to that natural order of absolutes. It's relative. So to dive into those details and to make that grand assumption, I just pause in that point. I saw black people out there doing whatever they were doing.
You saw black people inside of the Capitol building?
At the Trump support.
I did not see a single black person inside of the Capitol building.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the report was.
Not saying they weren't in the crowd outside.
Well, that's
but to take that next step,
Yeah.
to enter that building,
Yeah.
I did not see one black or brown face.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
I ain't see it either. I saw them there. I don't know what that meant in terms of inciting it. But the double standard is what we're all hanging on to. And I agree. You saw a use of force that looked like a double standard. But in that double standard, you got to know in totality what was really occurring. I think what we do is we hear a summation, or we think everything we saw is the only thing that occurred, and then we make that generalization. So I'm not going to rule on this one as I'm not going to rule on the one in this summer, because this summer, that was like tear gas and it seemed peaceful. But then you hear reports that it wasn't entirely peaceful. And then you see this one, it seemed crazy. And then it's like we try to portray it as a black-white conversation when it may be deeper than that. It may be more of an integration of other issues.
Well, this one was definitely violent.
You think? I mean,
extremely violent.
One person got shot and 3 others medical emergencies, 4 others.
Yeah, one rather portly woman who was attending her first Trump rally ever was trampled to death. I would like to say that I feel bad for her, but you know,
you ain't got a heart for a person that died.
If you run up inside, you know, in an attempted coup, an attempted you know,
yeah,
and it is what it is. It was a coup attempt.
Oh yeah. Oh, nobody.
It was an attempt to overturn a democratic election.
Exactly. Now we're going down a different lane, though.
Yes.
We're going down a different lane than 2 Americas now. Just remember how you just ran from lane 1 to lane 3 and said, I'm still in my lane.
I got it.
Okay.
If you run
you know, horrible.
I assume that if I run into a federal building and attempt to disrupt democracy, there's a reasonable chance I will die in the process.
Oh, you're getting smoked.
You
weren't supposed to make it on the lawn, or you weren't even supposed to make it to the steps. We get that. I'm with that.
One of the guys, I believe, had a stroke. Another guy, I believe, tased himself and had a heart attack. Once again, kind of hard for me to feel sorry for this particular group of people. And of course, the woman who got shot, and now there's a different video of her. You see her lunging, trying to get through an attack and everything else like that.
Yeah.
You know, once again, don't particularly feel sorry for any of these 4 people. The cop who got killed trying to protect the building, I do feel sorry.
You feel sorry for him?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
But my synopsis is not about feeling sorry or not. Loss of life's loss of life. But if you were a part of your own loss of life in terms of instigating that, then we're going to feel different. But that's not the same conversation that we started off having and LeBron James is having. He's not having that conversation.
Well, what he's saying from my point of view is that if it was a whole bunch of people who look like Marcellus Wiley, there's a much higher chance that a lot more of them would be dead on the ground.
You know, I guess that's a jumping off point, because I think we're all trying to say the same thing and we're just entering from different doors. And there's not a loud enough chorus of people who say good things about situations that they may have been presented with. So I'll give it to you like this. My experience is my expertise. I say it all the time on our show. And it's a real thing. So there's 2 things I can rely on: what I've experienced, or if I want to generalize, I'm going to use facts. I'm going to use numbers. I'm going to use things that support it to be objective as possible. Because everything else is just going to be, well, I saw this. As we just said, I ain't see a black person in there. Then we're going to see a video in a week and it's like, oh, there's a black person in there, but there's a black person in the crowd, et cetera.
Right. Well, I think we could clearly say, even without seeing all the videos, is that when you see all the pictures and all the videos, if there was a black person in there, it was a tiny portion of that mob, if any at all. I don't think that's even arguable.
No one's arguing that.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is when you say that in summation, okay, if that was my people, then you got to start to go to your experiences and experiences of when it was your people. And I don't think enough people are talking about the times where the police took care of them, looked out for them, were of benefit to them, whatever that may be. I know it's happened in my life, a few different cases. And then there's also been one time where I was like, he tripping on me, and there's only one reason to trip on me, bruh. It's from the outside looking in and the complexion. So until that chorus gets louder, or at least in balance, we're gonna always pick the low-hanging fruit, which is, if that was my people, that's what would happen. But dude, police done took care of me before, when I was broke, took care of me when I was anonymous and just a guy in the neighborhood, etc. So not to bore you with those examples, but I keep that in mind when I see someone else try to take it to another level.
Well, Just today, Twitter suspended Trump's account permanently.
I heard forever.
And they deleted everything. So like the whole history of it is gone. It just, like whenever someone else's, some troll account gets suspended, it just says suspended with nothing there.
Yeah.
That's what you see there.
Damn. Inevitable.
And that was...
It was coming.
That was after Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat
and
everyone else, even Instacart, took down all the Trump stores.
But see, this is kind of going to make my point about the last conversation. Dog, Trump out of office in what? How many days? Like he gone 14 days, 2 weeks. Well, 12 days.
12 days.
Today's the 8th.
Yeah.
Come on now. They got all they could. They extracted all they could out of him in terms of content, monetizing that and using that. That's their platform. Be real. So you use Trump up for 4 years, and then all of a sudden you want to grandstand and say, I'm through with him. Well, he's through with you too, and in the same scope, at the same level, at the same power level, and people gonna applaud Twitter at the end when they got all they wanted out of it. See, that's what I'm saying.
Huh?
Like, you gotta be, like, people are not critically thinking about this.
MySpace about to be popping right now. Tom just got his first friend request in 10 years.
You think Trump gonna go on Black Planet?
I forgot about Black Planet.
Let Trump on Black Planet,
Black
man.
Planet.
I mean, I wasn't on it, but I heard.
I mean, do you think he's gonna get impeached, or do you think that they're just gonna let him ride out this last few days?
I mean, the bureaucracy, how long it takes to get anything done, be real. Like, even if you try to speed it, expedite it, whatever, it's 12 days left. I mean, you can pull the plug, for ceremony, but I think his power has been undermined. I mean, Pence is looking at him sideways. Everything is going different for him.
Right.
So, I mean, it's almost ceremonial. If you want to, go ahead. If not, he's gone.
Well, the one thing that an impeachment will do is to prevent him from running for public office again.
Yeah, because he's trying to gear up again for 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's what people want, that's what people need. Look, 70+ million people voted for him.
Yeah. So
you can do that to kind of say, hey, we do not want this to come around again.
Yeah.
And I'm with that. But I'm also with, well, is he in this moment impeachable? And if he is, impeach him. If he's not, you can't do it just because I'm trying to get rid of you for the future. Do it for the present errors and miscues, not for the future potential of him coming back.
Well, I mean, me personally, and we'll end the topic here. I personally feel what he did was treason.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, to me, treason is a capital offense. Forget getting impeached. I feel that, I mean, this is potentially something you can get executed for. In the process of trying to overthrow.
Executed?
Yeah. Treason?
I mean, I don't know the law like you do, I guess. But
treason?
Who's getting executed?
For treason?
I mean, I heard treason, I heard execution. Show me someone who was convicted of treason. You hit the Google and maybe 2000 and something. Like, executed? Okay. I mean, I'm not so sure of death row.
Well, you're actually right.
Only
one person has been executed for treason against the federal government, William Bruce Mumford, back in 1862.
1862, but
he was hanged.
Would you want to stone him in the yard? Let that man go golfing.
Well, but all he did was tear down an American flag during the Civil War.
Hey, different strokes, different folks, different times. Goodness. Yeah, I get everybody wants Trump gone. I hear y'all. I shouldn't even say everybody because 70-some million people.
70 million people do not.
Did not.
That's what it is. All right, let's switch topics for you.
Yeah, let's go.
Steph Curry, career high of 62 points.
Yeah.
He actually posted that meme, the Jordan meme, and I took that personally.
Oh, the iPad one, yeah.
Because people were saying that, he's overrated, everything else like that. 62 points, career high. Stephen A. Smith said that Steph Curry is the greatest shooter man has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Agree or disagree?
Oh, agree. Like, nobody shoots better than Steph. People emulate it. People shoot as well in spurts. But in terms of just the innovation that he brought to the game in terms of shot selection and shot depth, and not only the accuracy, but the confidence, that confidence was contagious, the osmosis effect, not only in his team, not only with his coach, but around the entire league. Like, it made, I think Shaquille O'Neal talked about how now looking at his sons and how he looked at the game, he was like, you got to back on out. When I played, stay down there in the paint, bang, bang, bang. But what's his son, like 6'10 or 6'11? He out there shooting threes too. And we see it left and right. And I think that's the Steph Curry effect. Steph's been slighted for the obvious reasons. This world loves a ready-made star. This world loves someone who hits the ground running. This world is not a big fan of late bloomers. They could say they love a Rocky story, but they love somebody who's the Goliath even better, you know? And Steph comes from Davidson and shooting the lights out, and people are like, oh, that's cute. Then he gets to the league, let's see how that's gonna work. Oh, damn, his ankle's bad. Oh, damn, he can't stay healthy. You know what, whatever. We already have written him off, or at least written down who we think he is. And then he exceeds that every single year. To the point where
except
even this year.
Except for last year.
Well, last year, I mean,
except for last year.
My neck and my back, like everything broke, right? But the crazy thing is now he is like almost in terms of his career and perception, it seems like he's digging out of a hole versus just give him his flowers right now. The dude's the greatest shooter ever, and it's not even a conversation. It's just because of, I think, that slow start or that those issues and injuries that people didn't give him his props. And they never will fully.
I feel you. I feel you. I think he's phenomenal. And being from the Bay, you know.
Oh, you all in.
Come on.
You all in. I feel you.
Kobe Bryant died earlier this year.
Mm.
Vanessa Bryant has really gone through a tragedy that I think most people can't even comprehend.
Yeah.
And most recently, her own mother is suing her.
Hmm.
What do you take of that?
Whew, what I think of it. I love coming on Vlad because you just got to remember that anything that happened in this world, including 1862, is going to come up.
1862, a flag burning at that.
When I hear that, the turmoil in a family, how it can be divided for so many different reasons, it's really disturbing. And it's also eerily similar to what Kobe went through with his own mom and dad, which is weird. Like,
yeah,
the attraction, the law of attraction at work in terms of she's now going through these issues and he's gone. And when he was here, he had to go through those issues. And in part, it was just because of them having that union. That's what I think about at first. The details of that, man, you read the top layer because nobody's on the call when they FaceTime it for 4 hours just going at it. But you read the top layer of that and you just like shake your head, man. It's like, what is the glue of a family if love can't smooth this one over? Like, what glued y'all together? Was it really just the fame? Was it just the money? Was it just the notoriety? Like, it's hella sad. But anybody who's had money always wants to quote Biggie and Puff and talk about more money, more problems, and which is wrong. It's not more money, more problems. It's more money, more people who gonna love you, which is gonna bring more problems. At least they act like they love you until it all shakes up and changes around.
Oh yeah, man. Family and money, it's never a good idea.
Don't do that.
It's
Here
never,
you go. You're an absolutist.
Never,
it's
never,
no,
never.
Hold on.
A good
So
idea.
it's better to go into business with a stranger. It's better to be with somebody that you don't know as well.
It's better not to have no partners at all, like me. Fuck all that. I don't need to go into business with family, friends, partners.
I'd rather go into business with my family because they're going to get the rawest of pure dope in communication. Like strangers, I would give it to you the same way as I give it to my family, but I'm going to go to the extra layer, to the extra level with my family because guess what? We're supposed to be secure no matter how this plays out. Mm-hmm. But most people don't look at family like that. They're like, I got to take care of your feelings. If you my cousin, I'm going to give it to you like hell. Bro, you tripping. You messing up. You fucked up. Like a stranger, you're trying to protect their feelings, I would think, more than you.
I feel you. I mean, Kobe reportedly was supposed to be leaving Nike to start his own Mamba sneaker brand before he passed away.
Leaving Nike or having a subdivision within Nike?
Leaving Nike. I mean, he already had a subdivision.
He ain't have it like Jordan brand. Like Mamba.
Sort of.
He had his shoes, signature, blah, blah, blah. But I don't
still had the Nike logo. It didn't just have Mamba. I see what you're saying with this. But it...
Just like now, Steph Curry has that with Under Armour. Like a subdivision.
Yeah.
Like that's a little different than having my signature.
Yeah, no, he was actually talking about having his own brand.
Oh, there.
That was a very uphill battle. But if anyone could do it, Kobe probably could have done it.
Oh, yeah. His brand was grand in terms of all the different people it touched. In terms of, you got the killers out there who just... tongue hanging and just, I'm about to just bang on you, real ballers. Then you got the people who were like, what was he? Dad to the daughters. What was the daughter? Daughter?
Girl dad.
Girl dad. Okay, hashtag girl dad. I didn't know. I got boys and girls. He touched the spectrum. Like that wide of a spectrum is going to be able to sell to so many. Kind of how Steph Curry did it in a different way. Kobe did it as the killer Mamba, and Steph Curry did it kind of as the boy next door, could just shoot from the backyard to everywhere else. And they both have these huge brands from different places.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, who has ever had an independent sportswear brand, regardless of celebrity? Remember Shaq? I almost think Shaq was the closest one to do it.
Yeah,
because his sneakers may not have been the coolest sneakers on the block, but he made a lot of money.
Yeah, Marbury supposedly is killing it in China.
Yeah, the Starberries. But then, the whole thing of cheap sneakers, although in theory was a great idea, it really turned into you got them cheap ass Starberries on. Like
you're looking at it as a consumer or the homie in high school in class.
Well, but that's
Starberry looking at it like, yo, I'm killing it over here. Supposedly.
In China, but he never killed it in the U.S.
No.
In the U.S. it kind of started and then just kind of ran out of money relatively quickly. No one's really pulled this off, man.
It's a slick game, man. Like how it is. It's almost like media. It's tough to become Vlad, which is like the independent route winners, 6 major media companies controlling 6,000 different networks. And you're like, how do I get in? But there are people like you getting in. I think
it was a lot easier to become a VladTV than to become a Nike.
Yes.
And you also think about Nike's been around for 40, 50 years?
A minute. People don't remember when Nike was like 5th place in terms of putting them on.
Nike was Blue Ribbon Sports.
Yeah.
They used to be manufactured by A6 Tiger. I read Phil Knight's book.
Yeah, same here.
For a long time, they were broke.
How about when they were just like stuck in track world and trying to get out of that?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So.
The whole waffle, the coach, from what was it, Oregon?
Oregon, yeah, Eugene.
He basically poured rubber into a waffle iron and stuck it on a sneaker, and there you go.
It's a story of perseverance, man, and then a story of dominance to the point where you could spin off. What does Jordan get? $100 million royalty check before he even starts to sell his shoes and their shoes? Like, that's how it rolls.
Right, and if you and I are old enough to remember, I mean, I'm not going to say if it wasn't for Jordan, Nike wouldn't have popped off, because I think what happened with Nike was the air bubble. When the air, remember they had the shoe with the air bubble on the side?
Stop. You're going to compare air bubble to Jordan's impact?
Well, but no, but that was the first thing. Before the Jordans was the air bubble, and that's what really put him over the top. But then Jordan came out and he incorporated the air bubble.
I don't know. I saw some documentary. I don't know the name of it. I don't know if you saw it. They just documented Nike and Jordan, that integration and the cultural impact and stuff. It's impossible to rival what happened.
With Jordan. Well, yeah. I mean, Jordan became the biggest player in sports, period.
Yeah.
And remember the Jordan 1 wasn't that hot. It was a standard looking high top sneaker. Jordan 2 was kind of weird.
But Jordan 1 had the colors. Like the documentary went into it. Basically, no shoes had like the team colors and like tri-colors. They were all like blop blop. Like black and white, and Jordan was like black, red, white, and then switched them up. And then the NBA was finding them. So they became like the shoes of the Renegades and, the culture, it's crazy. All the stars collided and aligned at the same time for that impact.
Yeah, I feel you. Kyrie Irving referred to himself as an artist. Do you remember this whole spiel?
Nah, he's an artist now?
Hold on a second. I'm going to read you the quote. Okay, so Kyrie Irving, back in December, refused to speak to the media. He got fined $25,000.
Oh, that one. Okay, I'm with you. Okay. Yeah.
He said, it's really just about how I felt about the mistreatment of certain artists when we get to certain platform, when we make decisions within our lives to have full control and ownership.
Huh.
We want to perform in a secure and protected space. Charles Barkley chimed in on this.
You said Kyrie Irving and Charles Barkley, I know it's coming.
Charles said, when he talks, I'm like, what is he saying? What is he trying to say? He starts talking about what an artist is. He's a basketball player. That's what he is. Listen, we're not frontline responders. We're not teachers. Yo, man, you dribble a basketball. Stop acting like you're the smartest person in the world.
Okay.
What do you take of all this?
I think Kyrie is teetering between being misunderstood and Kyrie actually misunderstanding who he is to, I guess, the greater world. And that's an interesting balance that we all have. Who are you? And then who do they think you are? And most people don't have that outward like conversation. But I kind of think it's courageous of him to even attempt it. Like, all right, I'm gonna take y'all into what I'm really feeling. And despite y'all trying to put me in this box or whatever that is, I'm different than that. Whether I'm bigger than that or not, I'm just different than that. Let me tell you what I am. Now, who could be mad at self-definition? Like, I'm not mad at that. But it comes off weird to people because they have ammunition on Kyrie and the flat earth. And I joke a lot about flat earth because I'm like, every time I go on a plane, it looks flat to me. And people really be, oh my God. And then they be like, you ain't going to Columbia. And I'm like, I'm going to say it again. So there, you can't take my degree away and you're still going to be like perplexed. What the hell? I'm clowning y'all. The point is, I don't know if Kyrie's clowning or not, but I do know he's serious about not being boxed in terms of just a dribbler. So to minimize him to that, I think he's kind of like, yo, chill out. I love Kyrie's game on the court. You can't say anything bad about the dude. Let's be real.
Phenomenal.
It's just because now we know everything about everybody. In the 80s, we didn't see Jordan except when he was getting out of a Lambo or putting on the new sneakers or a commercial, a red carpet. Now you get to see these dudes on Wednesday at 8:37 p.m. And it's just like, you got way more ammunition to say either he's amazing or he's a weirdo, and you're going to pick.
Well, I interviewed John Sally. And we spoke about this. And at first, I thought the whole artist thing was just weird because me coming from the world of hip hop, I know what an artist is, right? It's a rapper, singer, producer, painter, you know.
I'm not a rapper, I'm an artist.
Right.
Right.
That's what I consider an artist. But
Okay.
then when talking to John, he was like, yo, he is an artist. He's an artist on the court. And, you know, we talked about like, well, would you consider Jordan an artist on that court? And I'm like, yeah. I actually would. Kyrie Irving referred to himself as an artist.
He is.
You think so?
Isaiah Thomas said he's never seen anybody handle the ball like that. That's like saying I've never seen anybody literally handle a paintbrush like that. I've never seen anybody literally use their vocal cords like that. So to be able to take an instrument like a basketball and do the things he can do with it by dribbling it, that's artistry. Artistry. So George Gervin, artistry. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, artistry. There was ballet on a basketball court in the air. So yeah, he is an artist. And if in his artistry, he should be able to determine how and what he wants to say about it. What we would call it is eccentric if he was Prince or if he was Mozart or if he was Warhol. So yeah, Warhol's an artist, and all he did is take paint with a brush.
And
he poked
I got it. I'm like, all right, you know. And Kyrie, I mean, you wouldn't put him, you know, neck to neck with Jordan, but he's one of the top players. You know, he's phenomenal on that court. What he does, not a lot of human beings could do.
Hell no. Best handles maybe ever. Him and Steph looking at each other.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So why? So actually, man, I support him saying he's an artist. I dig it.
I'm not going to get caught up in just the fact of the word terminology. Like, I'm not going to get lost in the semantics of artists, athletes, shut up. Like, artists are known for subjective experiences and subjective portrayals of their efforts.
Okay, I see.
Whereas a basketball player is known for that, but
Stats.
It ends in the objective measure.
Yeah.
So since they both land in these objective or subjective places, and they can't be the same. Like, come on now.
Although there is a high level of objectiveness when it comes to sports. You know, when you say the greatest of all time, you can't say it's definitively one person based on a set of stats.
No, it takes
because there's
more
too
than
many. There's too many things going on, and it becomes objective because there's almost an infinite amount of variables.
That's why barbershops don't close with this argument. They will be up all night. If the sun will go down and come up, and you're still saying Jordan, LeBron, and then you just ain't getting your hair cut. I know.
Malik Beasley. Number one, did you hear about the whole arrest thing?
Malik Beasley?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Malik Beasley is the one that's been dating Larsa Pippen.
Oh, and he was separated, and she was at the mall with him one time, and then, yeah, okay. Help me out.
24 years old, Malik Beasley, 46, Larsa Pippen.
I saw Larsa Pippen one time with my eyeballs at ESPYs. Whatever age she is, I can see why. Yeah, Cats is not
beautiful girl.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clearly she got something that is very beguiling.
Is there a question in here? Is there a question in here? What is he trying to ask me? Should he holler at her because she older? Yes. What the hell? Older dudes holler at young girls all day. It's like, we know what the general attraction is in terms of like looks, athlete, money. Once again, there are 9 trillion different worlds out there, right? Mr. Beasley and a Mrs. Pippen. She still going by Pippen?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, hey. They're going to find each other in the same world, same circles. And if you take a peek and she take a peek and you're like, okay. Like, I don't know what should make her or even him as like something you should stiff arm or stay away from, because she used to date Scottie Pippen. She used to be married to Scottie Pippen.
Married. She got 4 kids with Scottie.
Scottie Pippen. I'm about to go through the whole like, oh, she used to date him. Oh no, they got married. Oh, they got kids. Like, when is?
Well, I mean, apparently they're separated now, so it is what it is. But he was married at the time for.
I thought he was separated.
Well, I mean, according to who?
Yes,
his wife said that they weren't. So she was blindsided by this whole thing. And this is coming off of a real serious piece of drama, because him and his wife had a house that they were renting. Some family rolls up on the house shopping, and he comes out with a gun and points the gun at the car, like, get off my property. And now he gets charged with a felony.
For what? The gun wasn't registered? The gun not hit?
No, I believe it was registered, but I think pointing a gun.
Oh, yeah. Without probable cause and on it. Yeah. Hey, we trying to just check out the house. Sound like Mr. Beasley and Lady Pippen, they're going fireworks.
This was before Larsa Pippen. This was with his actual wife.
Yeah, you got to give me, I ain't on VladTV enough or I'm not on TMZ enough to know all this. Man, people always laugh at me because I stay away from anything that is not pushing in my direction.
Fair enough.
Okay, Wally.
Giannis got a $238 million.
That's it?
Supermax.
Is that it?
Jeez. Not enough?
I mean, he's everything to that franchise. He's 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, he's a beast. He's just that close to getting over that hump, and he needs to get over that hump for perception. But in reality, that dude's a monster, man. And he's just coming up short in the biggest moment, the biggest games.
Right. No rings.
Shouldn't slight him. No ring. Oh, yeah.
No rings.
You want to go through the list of no rings, but still amazing? Yeah.
Lots of people, but usually they're not MVPs.
Yeah, with Charles Barkley, we could talk about. I mean,
he's been an MVP?
I think so. I think Barkley won MVP. Hit the Google, you know me.
I'm going to Google it.
But it's crazy. Like, what people have to understand, there's a huge difference between performance and outcome. And like, as much
he was a 93 MVP.
Bam, knew it.
There we go.
Performance and outcome is what we're really trying to distill out of this. And you want to always dictate the outcome, but the only way you can do it is through your performance.
Mm-hmm.
How could you get more out of him? All right, hit more threes, get more post-up moves in the playoffs, or just have more of a go-to game in the playoffs. And we're talking about this much in terms of incremental growth. But his performance is top level. His outcome is something to sneeze at right now.
Well, the big question is, why does he get MVP 2 years in a row and LeBron does not?
Oh, we know what that is.
What is it?
Voter fatigue. It's a lot of reasons. Voter fatigue. Voter fatigue. Like, yeah, that's a real thing. Like you have voter fatigue when you're in your car, you listen to your song, come on a couple times, and after that, you're going to choose something else. You just voted your favorite song of the moment off because you need something new. You need something fresh. Like, I love tacos. Not 7 days in a week. not every day.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think people look at LeBron as their favorite food, and then they be like, all right, what else am I eat? And that's where they look at other cats.
Well, John Sally spoke about this with me recently as well. He had a very interesting perspective on it. He said that the reason why LeBron has not been getting the MVP and Giannis has is because the NBA is looking at Giannis as the future. LeBron has done his thing and has performed and has put the league onto the next level, but they're still looking at him as the past. Now they're looking at Giannis as the future of the league.
To the NBA, Giannis is more important than LeBron because they feel they have already surfed this wave. But LeBron investing into himself is important. And that's when he got up there and said, I want my damn respect. He's right. He deserved. I thought the MVP of the league should be at the end. It shouldn't happen during the finals. Every award should happen at the end. But because LeBron is so direct and so knowing how to answer and so not feeling certain other people, and Giannis just sits around and just happy to be there and just, this is a blessing. And, for the NBA, it's important to have him as the next face, as an international face.
And that's why they're giving him the MVP.
Sally's my dog. I think that's too simple. I think that's, as we say, that's lazy to just say that because it's not that simple. LeBron was second in MVP, but why he didn't win it, in part because LeBron jogs a little during the regular season on purpose because he's 37, right? So he's like, to finish this race, I got to pick my spots. He start pacing himself in terms of speed on the court. I remember seeing some stats on him 3 years ago in the playoffs. LeBron was out there coasting because he saves himself during the game, and then he also saves himself during the regular season for playoff success. Every time LeBron's in the finals, he leads in every statistical category for both teams, basically. You know why? Because he knows how to pace himself. So you can't have it all. You can't pace yourself when Giannis is young enough to go to full tilt regular season, all 82, whatever it may be. And then he gets that award. But LeBron's like, I got my eyes on a different prize, a bigger prize. He gets that award.
Okay.
But to sum it up, they trying to move on. They're not necessarily trying to move on because Giannis, in the bubble, all his games were at 8 in the morning. They weren't trying to give him primetime games because they're not really trying to give him the baton. Tell Sally I said that.
Okay. And I'm just going to end off with our basketball section with this question. I just interviewed Muggsy Bogues.
My dog.
Who is the shortest player to ever play in the NBA. 5'3". He played for 14 seasons.
He really is 5'3".
5'3" with a 44-inch vert.
That's getting it.
He actually blocked Patrick Ewing at one point. What was it like for you to block Patrick Ewing?
Well, it was just another, it was a reactive moment, instinctive. We was playing against him, and he faded away and tried to shoot over one of my teammates, and I happened to be right there, and I caught him. And then when I did it, I let him know it was going to be on my highlight film too. So we got a big kick out of that. That's just part of the game, man. Folks like, well, he's 7 feet tall, and you 5. But I had a 44-inch vertical. I could get up the floor a little bit. But at the same time, he leaning back a little bit, and I had to jump. So I ain't had to use all my 44-inch to get that one. Just probably about 32 of it.
That's crazy.
Now, this was a while ago. This was the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
Right? Do you think with the modern NBA, where everyone is significantly taller than they were back then,
all right,
that there will ever be a 5'3" professional basketball player ever again?
Part of me already said, never say never. And I was like, shut up, corny. 5'3" has different options. I always had this little height experiment I used to run in junior high to high school. So I guess I'm gonna answer it in terms of my experience and my story. If you were trending prototype pro athlete, you stuck to sports. And most of us didn't make it, but we stuck to it. If you realize that I'm not necessarily built for that sport, or I'm not built internally for that sport, start looking at the arts, entertainment, music,
Business.
comedy, business, right?
Yeah.
So I think right now, because there are VladTVs and the internet, and there's so many ways to be creative and get a tremendous lifestyle out of your creativity, a 5'3" person would just do the risk reward. Like, the chances of them getting drafted are so slim, because if you're this good at 5'3" and somebody's right here that good at 6'3", we take a 6'3". So they're running the calculation like, let me go and veer. So back in those days, I don't know what Muggsy was going through, what his rearing was, what his situation was, but he fought through that wall. He cracked through that wall.
He grew up in the projects of Baltimore. He was shot when he was 5 years old. Dad went to prison.
Now you're talking.
Eventually died of drugs, of I believe a drug overdose, raised by a single mom. But ended up in high school for what people consider as the greatest high school basketball team of all time. The last 2 seasons, they did not lose one game.
Okay.
60-0.
Get some.
You know, he was a first-round draft pick in the NBA.
And 5'3".
12th pick overall.
Yeah.
At 5'3".
I
mean, before him, Spud Webb was doing his thing.
Yeah.
But he's 5'7".
5'7", right?
Yeah.
You're right.
This is 5'3".
Yeah, as much as he deserves all the props, and then that mental makeup and going through that, nobody gonna tell you no. Like, you've been through hell. That's the beauty of like going through any adversity, is if you survive it, mentally, you start to say, I got an engine that you can't shut down. That said, another 5'3" guy with a similar skill set, with a similar game, with a similar projection of being good or great. He ain't trying to run through all that, because he's walking around campus with the trees that are now, high school is now, if you're good, you're recruited. Let's stop lying. I got recruited in high school, and this is in the 80s. Now, if you play basketball and you go to these high schools, try and walk on a high school. Try to move to a city. Like, hey, I'm going to the public school down the street and I'm going to try out. They got that thing slotted 1 through 12 already.
Yeah,
so
well,
and ain't gonna do it.
And on top of that, even though back then, because remember, he was on the same team as Manute Bol. So you have a 7'7". You ever see that picture of the two of them together?
I haven't. That's insane.
I can't. Hold on.
That's insane. Dang. Man, he's 5'3", but he's not slight. Like,
no, he's built.
Real muscles there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, look at that. Dang. That's like 2 buildings, like one under construction and one is fully a skyscraper. Crazy.
There's a 2.5 foot difference between these two.
Unreal. Yeah, I would love to see it, but man, cats run real calculations on their life and the projections. Cats ain't running that one anymore. That's dead.
Right. And unlike that era, you know, we talked about this, the recruitment in professional sports is so international now that if you're in some small village in Bolivia and you're 7 feet tall,
we come.
They'll find you.
Yep.
Someone will get word of you, and they'll fly out to Bolivia, and they'll fly you out and try you out.
Yeah, and more importantly, I mean, Air Force One will land there, be like, "Yo, I heard you got a 7-footer in the village. Where are you at?"
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Here's some relief aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they know that too. Like, before, it was a one directional push. It was like, we're looking for them. Where are they? Now they're raising their hands. Like, the village is raising their hand. The people everywhere. It's a global sport, especially the NBA. So yeah, good luck, man.
I saw on your social media there was the GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
Would you say Tom Brady's the GOAT?
Greatest of all time, I give him that respect in terms of accolade, in terms of accomplishment. Yes. If you're going to have a talent conversation, if you're going to have my favorite quarterback conversation, if you're going to do any of those things, no, he's not the best football player or best quarterback ever. But if you say most decorated, most celebrated, most heralded, there's not another player that has a trophy case that looks like Tom Brady.
Right, because Joe Montana was in the conversation for a very long time.
Yeah.
But these days, most people will say Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning was in the conversation.
Oh, that's my guy. That's the one. I mean, I played against Brady and I played against Peyton Manning. Not just using me, because who am I? Just one defensive end trying to get both of those guys. My defensive coordinators, and I played for some great defensive coordinators. It was a different week when you had Peyton Manning than even Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady And it's interesting, which undermines kind of like a little bit of my Steph Curry argument, except Tom Brady, like in his first year starting, he was a Super Bowl champion. So it's like, okay,
Right.
he's a 6th rounder, picking 199. He waits a year, he starts after injury, and he's a champ. But Peyton Manning, Lord, like the way he changed the game, just at the snap, just pre-snap, just having your hand in the dirt and knowing this dude right there with the long neck is running calculus right now on your team was just insane. And he was able to deliver like death blows. Coaches used to always say, look at the scoreboard. I remember one time we were in Indy, he was like, look at the scoreboard. You look at it, it's like, you know, before a game, it's always 15 minutes and 0-0. He's like, you know, they got some points up there already. Like Peyton already got points before the game started. That's just how he played. Harrison, him, Edgerrin, Marshall, even early. Too much. Peyton Manning's my favorite and to me, the best quarterback I ever saw.
Antonio Brown. Is he still living with Tom Brady or is that just a transition thing?
Last time I checked, yes, but don't quote me on that. I mean, Brady house so big, I don't know if he knows he's living there or not either. Hello? Hey, me. Yeah, right.
He's somewhere in the East Wing.
One of them wings, silver spoon style, like trains and cars that get to the front door. But yeah, I heard that they still living together.
I mean, Tom Brady seems to have a real soft spot for Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he talked.
Remember he brought him over, to New England, and now he's bringing him over to his new team.
Yeah.
Do you think that Antonio is going to keep it together?
Good one, man. Whew. I hope so. As I think everyone hopes so. Willie, there's a lot going on in Antonio Brown's head. A lot of demons that need to be exercised before I can say for sure or anything like that. I would say that it's interesting, this dynamic, because Tom Brady talked about it, and then a little of it I had to kind of take from what Tom Brady said. Him being in New England, him being the GOAT, him playing for 20 years, him having his upbringing, his experience, and knowing not everybody had that upbringing and experience. And Tom Brady talked about how he had to lend himself across the aisle to teammates. And remember playing in a situation with Aaron Hernandez and having him be your teammate and your go-to guy.
Yeah. Oof.
And then imagine that's your go-to guy. Like, you're going to feel like, well, Aaron, he getting it. And then off the field, y'all this far apart.
He's off killing people.
Yeah, all that and some. And just insane.
I mean, it is what it is. He's off killing people.
Right. He's killing people.
Shooting at people and then eventually killing people.
And killing people.
Right.
And then you find this all out, and it's like, you think it's devastating to us, a football player? Aaron Hernandez, really? Imagine if every day, hey, you want to stay 10 more minutes after time? Yeah, let's go. I mean, we shooting the shit, and I'm this far apart from you in real life, and now you're gone. So Brady took that to heart, and he was like, if I can see somebody who's dangerously close to just unraveling, I'm going to reach across.
Which Antonio Brown has been dangerously close to unraveling. Remember, what was it? Maybe about 9 months ago or so, it was a disaster. It was like every day there was some sort of just unbelievable piece of drama.
Yeah.
Police being called.
Yeah. It's crazy too, because not everything he did was wrong. Not every part of that. It started in Pittsburgh. And it started in Pittsburgh for me. I'm on the outside. I got some friends on there and I don't want to rat them out. I always protect the guilty. But basically, AB was like, hey, I'm AB, future Hall of Famer, beast. Why Juju Smith-Schuster over here getting as many catches and targets as me? He ain't me. Like, to the point where when Juju was with AB, he had 1,100-yard games. I think 11. Since AB's gone, 1. AB knew this already, though. And see, it's funny when you're a teammate, when you're a teammate, you got to be all nice and take care of him. But really, you're like, dog, he ain't me. And AB knew that. So then Ben is Big Ben, the leader of the team. And then AB like, yo, Big Ben, I get that, we're going to be a little passive aggressive here and you're going to try and share the love, but make sure I get the lion's share of this. And he didn't get it. So then he starts spazzing because now he's drunk on his own power. He knows he's a future Hall of Famer. He knows he's a beast. And why am I getting the same as this dude and he ain't the same as me? And that spiraled out of control. So I was with AB on that one. Big Ben calling him out. Big Ben threw an interception one time to a defensive tackle, big old fat dude, and then blamed AB for running the route wrong. I said, "Oh my God, I knew they were on
That was it, huh?
So yeah, point being, everything AB's done has not been, to me, crazy. It's just you got too much ammo for crazy out there as well.
What did you think about the Randy Moss comments?
Randy Moss and
about the
Terrell Owens, my dog.
Yeah, and of course Jerry Rice fired back.
In the Jerry Rice way of firing back. Like,
Yeah.
Jerry is such a nice dude. He fired back.
He said it was all about the rings.
Oh, God, this is tough. Look, the best receiver ever is Terrell Owens. For me, for my defensive coordinators, they used to say, oh, the hell starts once he catches the ball. Usually we are taught, don't let him catch the ball because that's the tough part. They're going to get open, they're quick. He was like, no. One, he's going to get the ball, and then that's when you're going to pay for it. Terrell. He corrected me. He actually corrected me. He was like, dog, stop calling me Terrell. It's Terrell Owens. So Terrell Owens, yay, was a whole lot. Now, we know we're all talking about three people. It's Jerry Rice, T.O., and it's Randy Moss. For me, it's T.O. because he ran every route. It's T.O. because he was the most with the ball when he got it. Now, if you tell me it's Jerry Rice, I am listening, and I can agree with that as well. Randy and T.O. having a conversation without Jerry, just on surface, just on GP, seems a little like, y'all really gonna have a GOAT conversation without Jerry there? So I knew Jerry had to fire back, and Jerry said would shut the argument up. Hello, anybody? Like, where y'all at? Like, Randy had a perfect season that wasn't so perfect in the Super Bowl. So he shut him up in that conversation. But just like the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady conversation, Brady could do this and shut up Peyton Manning with rings, but not necessarily in every other category accomplishment.
Fair enough. What are your current thoughts about Kaepernick? Because on previous shows, you've come in and said what in the hip hop world was an unpopular view of Kaepernick.
Yeah, they ain't like me. Y'all mad at me over Kaepernick.
A lot of people are mad at you over Kaepernick.
Stay mad.
2021. Kaepernick hasn't played, hasn't been picked up by any teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL essentially said that they've moved on at this point. And there's been...
They moved on before they said they moved on, too.
They moved on before they said they moved on.
how this works.
I mean, number one, do you anticipate him ever playing professional football again?
No, he's done.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. I mean, it's weird because there was a time he was so hot button that you knew everything he was up to. Now I don't, being real. I don't know what Kaepernick's up to. I know he's not going to play football again because it just seemed like those two ships went a different direction. Is it sad? It's not sad to me. And people probably look at me like, oh, man, you mad how they did it, brother, and all that. I'm like, dude, I know so many guys who didn't even get an opportunity. And then I know guys who had an opportunity, for whatever reason, squandered it away. Then I know guys who had opportunities taken away from them. Kaepernick probably is in that conversation. Now, for the reasons, that's when we all have an issue. Why? But in terms of Kaepernick still finding a way back into the NFL, it was on Kaepernick. He had ways back in the room. He didn't want to go back in the room on those terms. Hey, it's a private industry, brother. If you don't like the way you come to my house, I'm going to say, take your shoes off. If you want to have a conversation about that, go home, talk to yourself, and then come back with your shoes off. I'm not trying to hear it. Like, everybody, people want to own something that they don't own and own the ethics and rules of it. You can't do it that way.
Good
Look,
point.
If you got a workout schedule and you don't want to go to the workout as prescribed, there's a way to change that, to edit that. For whatever reason, that got fumbled. I'm not going to put that on the NFL. I'm not going to put that on Cap. But damn it, if I'm Cap, I'm going to find a way to get that workout done. I'm going to find a way to get these numbers, this route, this arm, everything on display to the point where I'm back in that room. Then once I'm back in that room like he was before when he was kneeling, you dictate terms on that field.
Right. So I was talking to John Sally about this general type of thing. Now, I'm not very athletic. I have not
You
even
think?
been remotely close to being on a professional sports team,
I
much
love
less
it.
even,
Oh.
I wrestled in high school. That was about it.
Oh, that's real.
That's it. And I
That's
played
real.
tennis for a year. But other than that,
I like.
once my sophomore year came, I was like, sports is not really for me.
Oh, okay.
So I can't speak on this at all.
Yeah.
But speaking to John, who was a 4-ring holder, played on a lot of
Jeez.
phenomenal teams
Yeah, got it.
at the highest levels, what he explained to me that I didn't know is that it doesn't matter who you are on a particular sports team. You're not talking to the owner.
And you're not going to talk to him any kind of way because he set up, you talk to your coach, and then your coach can talk to the general manager, and then the general manager can talk back to your coach, but you're not going around them to the guy. It's not happening.
Even if you're Jordan, even if you're LeBron, even if you're
No,
Kobe.
and they wouldn't do that.
Ever.
It's rare. I know exactly where he's going. Give it all to me, but yeah, he's right so far. Like the owner,
You're not, you're going to talk to your coach,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could potentially talk to the general manager,
Yeah.
but the owner, you're not talking to that guy. It doesn't matter how big you are on that particular team. He's looking at it at a much higher level.
Yeah.
Not only am I looking at this particular team with all these different players and all these millions or hundreds of millions of dollars that I'm spending,
Yeah.
but I'm also looking at it 10, 20 years into the future
Mhm.
about where it's going, where all you guys are not even going to be here anymore.
Preach.
So the level that you're playing at as an individual player, you have so little say, regardless of who you are. And if you're not at the very top of that pile, you really have essentially no say at all.
I love it.
As someone who played professional sports, is that accurate?
I hear no lies. I see no lies, as they say. Look, we just had this conversation today. People need to understand the difference between money and power. Like Scarface tried to show us in the movies, and Scarface the rapper tried to rap about it. But the real is, you could get a big ass check in the NFL. Of course, the owner's gonna get a bigger one. So big bank takes little bank in that conversation. You're already gonna lose to the owner if you guys butt heads. So don't butt heads with him because he's gonna win. All right, so let's talk about, I'm the biggest of all these players, so I got the most say so. Yeah, but do you have power? You have a voice that is being heard, but it doesn't land to the same level as not only the owner, but those he employs to do the job for him. People got to understand, to become an owner of an NFL team, one, you got to have some billions.
Liquid.
Not just about,
you
if I
can't be
sell
worth
this.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Jay-Z may be worth $1 billion,
Yeah.
but he can't come up with that money if his life depended on it.
Man, they not talking about.
If they kidnapped Blue Ivy and they said we
Man,
need
you
$1
stop.
billion today,
You leave Jay alone. I forgot.
Jay wouldn't be able to come up with that. He would have to sell his liquor company. He would have to sell Rock Nation. He'd have to sell his whole catalog.
Yeah.
It's going to be a minute before he comes up with all that.
People don't know that level of wealth is a whole different animal. And you're
Mhm.
right in terms of being liquid versus just having that as an asset. Then
Right.
like on the Ameritrade or something crazy, you just slang it all.
Yeah.
But first is that. And then once you talk about owners qualifying in terms of the financial sense, they have so many other businesses that this becomes
Right.
the hobby.
Oh,
Guess
yeah.
what? I'm not going to be annoyed by a hobby. If someone is messing with my valuation of something that's supposed to do this,
No, you're right.
for whatever reason, we got a conversation to have. My biggest thing with Cap was just like, dog, when you had that power, I wish he had that enlightenment. He had some level of power. Super Bowl appearance. Dude took over the world. He was a sensation, kissing his bicep. He was the man. I wish he had the enlightenment at that moment because it would have been a real power play to see how he flexed then. But he wasn't on that then. I'm not mad at it. But when he did it, it wasn't at an opportune time to all of a sudden dictate terms. He found out the hard way where a lot of veterans, and it was crazy, you got called all kind of names for just telling the dude how the game goes, which he already knew, which was kind of just weird to see it all. It was really perplexing to see all of this is happening when we already know how it goes. So, nah, man, I mean, he had his chance to even come after all of that, after suing the league, after all of the statements and back and forth. There was still a moment of truth where I don't know if he would have showed up to the NFL's workout with 29 other teams. There was something that worked out. But once they saw beyond the performance, beyond the ability, that there was still a reluctance to kind of do it the NFL way. And people always take that as, they telling you what to do. Last time I checked, when you go to work, if you don't own that thing, you are doing some part of what they want you to do. Whatever that's a lot or a little, you are applying yourself to their way as well.
Well, when I interviewed Jemele Hill, we talked about your thoughts about Kaepernick.
Jemele.
And she, in a very nice way.
Yeah, because that's my homie.
Said
even though we disagree, like, hell.
Said you were completely wrong.
So I love Marcellus dearly, but as somebody who is in the league, he knows what a real workout looks like, right? A real workout doesn't happen at a high school in Georgia, regardless of who set it up. A real workout happens at the team facility.
She completely disagreed with you. And her and Kaepernick are close.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, she's working on his documentary, I believe.
Right.
And they're working on some stuff, I believe, with Disney. And when she left when he was starting to work on his deal with Disney, he called her because she had left to ESPN and so forth. And the two of them seem to have a close working relationship. Mm-hmm. You watched that interview with her?
With her?
About you?
I saw the clip when she talked about me.
Exactly.
What'd you say? But other than that, I ain't seen it at all. But what's up?
Well, no, I mean, what'd you think about her answer?
She said it with respect. Like, I can respectfully disagree with anybody. I don't find that everybody can, and I'm glad Jemele can. Mm-hmm. Like her knowing where this is way back at ESPN days. We used to be on the same show, same panel. Mm-hmm. And they pass the mic. Jemele says this, pro cap. Uh-oh, Marcellus about to talk. Dog, I'm pro Marcellus. I'm going to tell you what I think. If y'all don't like it, okay, I hear you. But I'm going to give you something to think about. I'm never going to sit here and it's not going to be reality-based. So when Jemele disagrees with me, okay, Jemele, I get it. Kaepernick, I know too much as well. And I've said a lot on your show already. Everything that I've seen is just, it really comes down to someone who had a chance, was an amazing, amazing talent. I used to profess that he was the most talented quarterback in the league. Ron Jaworski said it, and I second it in terms of I ain't seen nothing like Cap in so long, if ever, in the game. It was like this Mike Vick with a fastball that could run different in a system that suited him that he was prepared for, but it didn't work out. And when it didn't work out, I put him exactly where I put everyone else that I know it doesn't work out. For whatever reason, big dog, it ain't just coaches tripping.
Have the two of you ever had a conversation?
Jemele?
No, you and Kaepernick.
No.
Never.
I would love to, but then again, I don't need to. It's like whatever. Like, I don't slander him. And if I do, if he feels I do, I'm right here. But, everybody goes at Cap, whether they're supporting him, or he's just something to talk about. At least he was, for sure. For me, it's just like, if you ask me a question about him, I'm going to tell you exactly how I saw it, how I felt it, and how I witnessed it and experienced it. And that's it. I just don't understand why everyone's like, you're not with him, something else. This world is weird. Like, people really think that we're so divided and this is a polarizing. I'm like, no, we're not divided. We're different. And it's okay. I don't support Kaepernick in terms of the ways he expressed himself as a football player. And I'm still a nice guy if you hung out with me. Same dude.
Well, I interviewed Kid from Kid and Play.
Oh, it is still there?
It's not there anymore, no.
My dog. Some things do change.
Well, if you remember, I don't think you were on this show, but he did a skit with Jason Whitlock.
Oh, I wasn't there. I heard about it. I heard it was all bad. Like they did a Kaepernick skit.
Yeah, where Kid actually dressed up like Kaepernick.
The road to hell.
A big afro, and he was putting his fist up and everything else like that.
Oh, you're nailing too many corny stuff.
Right. With Jason Whitlock there on top of it.
Which we know he gonna put his spice on it.
Yeah.
That season is not for everybody's taste.
Yeah, Kid said that was one of the worst decisions of his life.
Because of the reaction, or because in the moment he felt that?
Because of the reaction.
See, that's what I don't like about people.
Yeah, and for him,
decisions are different than consequences. Make your decision and just live with it.
Right.
Bro.
I mean, essentially the way he looked at it was, hey, this is going to be like a Saturday Night Live skit, where people dress up like other people and they do little comedy skits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the fact that he did it with Jason kind of gave it a certain kind of spin to it.
Oh, a certain kind of spin to it? That's how you want to frame this shit? You do something with Whitlock, here comes the pain. Like, people going to be at your head. Like, people going to not give you the benefit of the doubt. They're going to doubt you all the way through until you can prove it different. Like, yeah, Jason is the third rail, man. We get it. That's a interesting figure, like Jason Whitlock. But in terms of what Kid went through, I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it. Yeah, Kid, I'm sure it wasn't just that photo right there that got him in hot. What is? I mean, look, in comedy, they say never hit a bullseye because then it's not funny. So calling a fat person in comedy fat is not funny. Calling somebody who is challenged with their weight, struggling, going up and down is funny because you know that it's not hitting them exactly where it hurts. That picture, I haven't seen the video, that picture looks like it's just too bullseye. Like, even when you're doing something, whether it's the spoof or satire, whatever you want to call it, miss a little on purpose to give room for interpretation and some laughs. But they always say in comedy, because I know this, sometimes I see somebody who's ugly. I'm like, don't call them ugly. Call them a lot of things, but don't call them ugly because that's going to hurt.
Well, Kid actually issued a statement after the backlash. He said, let me address the elephant in the room, and no, I don't mean Whitlock.
He said that?
Look,
bro.
He said, look,
that's cool.
I get it.
That's messed up.
Taking a pic with Jason Whitlock is like taking a pic with Samuel L. Jackson and Django. Most people might be portrayed by this act, and others will be litty on you and call you a coon, sellout, or even worse. These are the pitfalls of a public life. I accept them. Let me be clear, the skit and photo were not meant to disrespect Colin's message or political stance. Rather, we wanted to spoof the media's treatment of him and the circus that has been created.
Okay. I would have never put that out, but I'm not him. I'm not putting out a statement I don't believe in unless it's my boss is saying, and I had to do this one time at ESPN, one of those fake apologies. And if that's a fake apology, I don't know who his boss is in that situation.
Well, he had no boss.
Thank you. So I'm not putting that out. That's not me. If that ain't coming from the boss, just saying, just put it out so we can just get through this. I'm like, I get it. They're bigger fish to fry than me standing here saying, I'm not going to apologize. All right. I hear that. But what he's apologizing for is weird because Kaepernick's message is not lost if you make a joke about Kaepernick. Like, if it is, it's not a strong message. Like, you can't lose a message by laughing at something. Like, that's the whole basis of comedy. Serious ass life. Everybody's stressed out. We show up, we pay our money. Make me laugh about that same pain I'm going through. I laugh at my pain. So I'm Mr. Levity. I clown any and everything. So I'm not the one to be sitting there sensitive. Oh, you hurt my feelings. If you got jokes for me, come. But coon, sell out, and whatever other words they can make up, y'all need higher caliber ammunition. Like, if those are the words that are supposed to just change my mind about what I believe, all right, y'all got to keep trying, keep searching, because that's not it.
Well, you had a show with Jason for a while.
I did.
Do you feel that the overall attacks on him are justified or not really? Because when he got fired from the show.
He didn't get fired.
He didn't get fired?
Not from my understanding. Whitlock wanted, they wanted, those wants didn't meet. Mutual departure. Like, Whitlock left to go be an entrepreneur and be a part of another site and part owner. Like, he could have stayed. He could have stayed. And it was a long time, about a month or so, we were all holding our breath. Is he staying? So he had cards. I think that's a misportrayal of the circumstance.
So he just wanted more money and they wouldn't give it to him.
Whitlock different. It wasn't just money. He wanted, Whitlock's about freedom. And it ain't just because of physical size. He needs more room. He just wants to be able to say what he wants to say, maybe to a scope that he didn't feel that our format supported that. But all that came about in the closed doors discussion. So I'm giving you hearsay, but more so than that, because we didn't have that type of relationship. I wish we did.
You guys weren't close.
No, not close. He texted me 2 days ago. I texted him back. Like, I'm respectful. I'm cordial. I like Jason. There are parts that I'm like, yo, Jason, you over-seasoned that one. That's what he is. He's just, the steak was fine with just a dab. He went, you know how you get the.
You just open the whole thing up and just dump it all on there.
He's the dude to like, I'm like, no, why you take the lid off? Like, hey. And so anything that comes, Jason, at the core of what Jason is a really good dude. At the core of what he says is some core of truth and understanding. But then it's that aftertaste of like, damn, he took the lid off again. Like, he will find a way, a choice word. He's a lightning rod. He knows it.
Habitual lid remover. That's what he is.
Habitual lid remover. Put the lid back on, motherfucker. Oh, man, I got love for Jason. But my only thing was like, it was eye-opening to know that my co-host ain't really my dog. Because usually on my teams, I was friends with everybody. You know, it's one dude that is like, he goes in all four corners, or he's that one dude that goes out with that group that doesn't get along with them. And like, I was like that guy. And this was like one of the first times where it was like, there's a little difference. Jason was older. We never ironed out a relationship to the fullest. And I thought we were still cool. I thought we were still great until the departure conversations was happening. And it's all like me hearing third party or ear hustling versus direct. And that was the first time I was like, oh, we really ain't cool. I'm cooler with him than he's probably cooler with me.
Huh. So you feel your relationship is closer with Emmanuel than it was with Jason?
It's interesting, my relationship with Acho. I love Acho. I love what I did on the air with Jason. I love what I do on the air with Acho. I think Acho and I will have a greater relationship. It's hard to tell. The dude came here in June. I have not seen him one time outside of the studio ever because of COVID and the pandemic. I'm acting like it's day one. You know, it's March 11th to me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
So we have not had a beer. We have not hit the club. We haven't done jack that builds that bond. But that's my dog. I actually knew Acho 2, 3, 4 years before he even came to the show. So, yeah. But I knew Jason too as well. So it's just weird. I got to see after this pandemic if Acho is as cool on set and as cool as he should be off set. We'll see.
Final football question. Who are you predicting to be in the Super Bowl?
I'm already rooting. I want the Ravens and I want the Bills. Ravens-Bills will be fun to watch. But the real is, it could be those two. It could be the Chiefs, Green Bay. So, you know, I want Ravens, Bills, but hey, y'all can't play together in it because y'all both AFC. Green Bay probably of all NFC teams. Tampa Bay. Those are the two. Tampa, Green Bay, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. The two, I know you're like, boring answer. If I had to put my money on it.
Mm-hmm. Money. Let's hear it.
Chiefs, Bucks.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a prediction. And who do you got out of those two?
I don't even want them, but Chiefs, Bucks. I want to see some
Bucks. There we go.
fatigue.
On VladTV, Marcellus Wiley predicts that the Bucks will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Boom.
voter fatigue. I saw the Chiefs win it last year. That was fun. Let's see the Bucks go get it. Go Brady.
Did you watch the Tyson Roy Jones fight?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I like the one before it more. Man.
Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Here you have a YouTuber versus a professional basketball player. Most people, me included, looked at these two, and I had my money on Nate Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Professional athlete,
Twitch.
very well built. I mean, this is the guy that was winning slam dunk contests at 5'9". I mean, incredible athleticism.
Yeah.
Looked like he was a little tougher and rougher, you know what I'm saying? Looked like he could beat some ass more. I mean, when you look at those two, Jake looks all soft and cuddly. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Right.
Nate looked like he could beat some ass.
Yeah.
But that did not happen in that ring. Let me tell you.
It did not. What we saw in that ring, a couple of things. One is the curse of the gifted. And it's a thing that anybody who's ever made it in pro sports knows a guy that was as good as them or better than them, except maybe LeBron or something. But basically, you grew up with a dude who was better than you. but the curse of the gifted, they skip steps. They just think that I'm good or whatever it is. And I think Nate trained. What I think he skipped in steps was he didn't have a fight before that. So think about it. Fighting is not boxing. I trained with Freddie Roach at Wild Card. Shout out to Ernie, all my boys over there. Pacquiao used to be in there. And Freddie Roach and I had the same agent. So I VIP. And I used to go in there and train with these guys. And I could not box. It's a whole different art, different sport than fighting. Like, I can fight. You wrestle me or fight, play football, whatever. I could beat you up, probably. Boxing? Shoot. And Nate, that one fight that Jake had, that the fight was slower to him. It was, as they say, the light went off. Like, he could see it coming. Nate went out there with just talent and juice. And he was a little too hyper and walked into a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, Nate looked like he was trying to play football. He was trying to sack the quarterback or something. like it just didn't make any sense. I boxed a little bit in my younger days, and I could tell you that even with the little that I know about boxing, that was some of the worst footwork I've ever seen in my entire life.
It wasn't even footwork like boxing sense. It was just like a guy who was quick. It was like, how can I get my punches off? And there's so many things you got to think about. Every time you throw a punch, you got to think about what he gonna do, how is he gonna respond. Like,
like I interviewed Michael Jai White recently. We talked about this, and Michael is like a lifelong martial arts guy.
Yeah,
seriously, like he trains with John Bones Jones and all the other top MMA guys and everything. And he was telling me in our interview, like, when he saw Nate jab and Nate just kept his arm out there.
Yeah. Here you go.
He said, "Oh my God, this is about to end so badly. This is not how you jab. It's just like the most basic punch in your ensemble. You're doing it completely wrong."
Nate he would punch and just keep his arm out there. And I'm like, the first time I saw him do that, I'm like, oh my God, you're setting yourself up for like destruction.
So he would keep his jab out there? Is that what
he was locking his arms out with every punch?
Oh.
Man.
And he got knocked out so bad.
Dog, I tell you this great story. I used to work with Max Kellerman, obviously, so guru. This dude, Max, knows all things boxing. But Floyd was my neighbor, and he used to have these get-togethers, and I used to never go to him because I was like, man, I'm trying to stay married. Like, Floyd life is just different. Like, I don't even want to see that because it's gonna remind me of what I used to do on this level compared to him. Right. I didn't want to deal with it, but I went one time.
Didn't want a side baby at one of these Floyd get-togethers. I get it. I got it. I'm right there with you. Right.
Yeah, right. I didn't want to get caught. Like, what's your name, Larsa? Like, I didn't want to be there. So I ain't want none of that in my life. I liked my life. So what happened was we talking. Everybody kind of like in the party mode because, I mean, Floyd, man, God, he's a beast. I saw a floor that had this much money on it. And I don't think any of them had less than 3 digits on them. Is there a $1,000 bill in the world? Because I was kind of like, I wanted to touch it. Well, I was just looking like, damn. Anyway, I'm talking to Floyd. And this is after, I want to say Pacquiao fight. And I was like, so when'd you know, like, okay, he ain't ready for you? And he's like, you know what I do? He said, in the first round of every fight, I like to give him like this check punch. And if you watch Floyd fights, typically it's that straight right to like the diaphragm, right here. Yeah. And he'll go like this. Like he ducks down and kind of like, and it's a weird punch because not everyone does it, but he does it in a way like that. And he said, and then I listened to the sound. And he said, when I heard that sound, and the sound he heard from Pacquiao, the sound he hears lets him know how he's going to approach the rest of the fight. Now I'm sitting there like, the hell you talk? Like, what are you listening to? What whistles? But basically, that's the level of expertise that exists. Even if someone is here and you here, you're in trouble if this is boxing.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about him fighting Logan Paul? I did not see this one coming at all. Like, and I remember I'm hanging out with Zab Judah. Okay. Right. And we had, he had interviewed Mike Tyson for us and we had to do some reshoot stuff. So we're hanging out at Tyson's gym and he's like, yo, I just got out of Logan Paul's training camp. He's going to fight Floyd Mayweather. And I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Floyd Mayweather, 50-0. Floyd Mayweather's going to fight a YouTuber who's 50 pounds heavier than him and a foot taller. what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I'm like, never in a million years. If I had 100,000 in my pocket, I would have bet him right then. Real seriously, I would have bet him. I would have pulled that money out. Be like, here you go.
Now, why? Why are you so like, I didn't see that coming. I saw it coming once I heard it could happen. I was like, oh, it's happening. Why?
Why?
Just the size difference? That is not enough to say no to all that.
Just because I think with Floyd, he is so aware of his legacy. 50-0. Like, to get to that level, I remember I interviewed Larry Holmes, right? Not too long ago. Larry Holmes went 48-0. He was trying to beat Rocky Marciano's record.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which he didn't do when he lost to Spinks.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like a big, he even feels that it was sort of like a racist type of thing. He felt like him losing to Spinks was because people didn't want a black guy to beat, Rocky Marciano's, record. And he felt that he was robbed in that particular fight. And he even said Rocky Marciano couldn't hold my jockstrap and stuff like that.
Damn, Larry, okay.
Right? And for the longest time, no matter who you were in boxing, you could not beat that 49-0 record. And Floyd Mayweather beat that.
Yeah.
He beat that.
Yeah.
And there's no asterisk by his name. There wasn't a fight that he really should have lost, but they gave it to him because it was Floyd.
Yeah.
Zab Judah might argue with that, but whatever.
Come win. He's been hit 5 times in 50 fights. Like, okay,
but still, this guy has an impeccable record. Impeccable. He's made more money than any other boxer, and he's kept it.
Yeah, by far. Combined.
When I interviewed Mike Tyson, I talked to Mike about blowing through $300 million. And Mike said, whatever. I don't think about it.
My dog.
But he thought about it when he beat up Don King.
Give me some of that back.
Flying in his private jet thinking, sniffing cocaine, talking about this motherfucker stole all my money and I'm in his jet, whatever else.
By the way, where my money, Don?
He beat up Don King. But what I'm saying is he's 50-0. He is rich beyond compare. He's
come on, Vlad. You ain't gave me a reason yet.
He's not Muhammad Ali, who's fighting past his prime because he needs the money.
That's not the only motivation. I see what you're saying.
He has all his wits about him.
Keep going.
To fight, and he beat the best guy in the MMA. Yeah. On top of it.
He'll beat him again. If he needed to. For more money.
Again, and that was like even though that wasn't, was that a real sanctioned match?
No, I think that was I think that was an exhibition.
Yeah,
this is going to be,
This is going to be, but he could stand on the I beat the best guy out of the UFC, out of the biggest MMA league in the world. Mm-hmm. What props do you get for beating Logan Paul outside of a check?
Boom. First of all, I'd rather a check than props. Fuck props. I don't need no props in this world. Like, people, we're grown. Who wants props? Like, that's so high school. You think I'm great? Like, no, you can think I ain't shit. How much is that check? One, what enticed Floyd was the money. What made Floyd say, I'm going to do this is the opportunity, and he knows his own ability. The answer was right in front of you, Vlad. You just kept talking about all this other stuff where everybody else says. Floyd knows how to pick them. And I'm not saying Floyd ever dodged. He just knew who he could fight, and he knew when to fight him, and he knew he was going to win. He knows he's going to smoke this dude. Right. So why not take an easy check in the exhibition? What do you have to lose? Somebody saying bad stuff about Floyd? Guess what? They already do. So why not pick up another $100 million and keep them doing what they do?
Well,
feed the haters, because they ain't going away.
Well, number one, Floyd didn't dodge anybody.
I didn't say dodge.
No. What I'm saying is that when you look at his record on top of the 50-0, he wasn't ducking certain people.
No, it's opportunistic. Think about it. Like, Floyd's a businessman. What people don't understand and respect about Floyd, because I remember meeting Floyd when he was Pretty Boy. We used to be on these round tables and like events, and he would have on 97 chains, 2 pair of sunglasses just to be recognized. Kind of like how, animals in the wild wanted, hey, I'm here, and the colors, whatever may be. And then he made a calculation. He was like, I am going to be Money Mayweather. Now, dodging is not going to ever leave my mouth. What leaves my mouth is opportunity. When he fought Canelo, the first time he fought Canelo, when he caught Canelo, that was Canelo doing this. And Floyd was like, all right, I know I'm going to beat him, so let's fight. And let's hype it up like maybe I can't beat him. Floyd knows. That's why he carried UFC. What's UFC dude?
Conor McGregor.
Conor. He carried Conor. Conor. Oh, God, Conor. Bah! Oh, this is fun. Like, Floyd's going to do the same thing, Logan. If Floyd wanted that fight to end before it started, it would. If he wants to go ding, ding, back, bye, there's not a chance in hell Logan's going to do it. And you just basing it on size? Let me give you an example. Okay, Sugar Shane Mosley came to my show and we were talking. Me, I woof. I'm Sugar Shane, I'll whoop your ass. You 140, he the homie too. 140, stop. I'm at that time 290. Man, stop. I would just, and I was like, come on. And this happened to him and this happened with Oscar. We talked through it. Sugar Shane actually hit me. I said, hit me. And don't give me all you got because I'm not prepared for that. I'm 290 out of shape. But give me some. He's like, Marcellus, I'm going to warn you. I know where to hit you. So I'm not even going to give you for real, but I'm going to give you some. Bah! I was like, if that was for real, mama, I'm crying for mama. Anderson Silva hit me one time, a little more than that. Bones Jones hit me for real. And I had on pads though. Man, these dudes, when they want you, they're going to come get you. Floyd is not worried about this at all, except where to cash that check. You look at you skeptical as hell.
I don't know.
You wouldn't do it?
Let me tell you this.
Okay.
And this is my mentality. I have gotten offered $50,000 to interview people, and I've turned it down.
I see that. I respect
because
that.
the way I look at it is this platform that's taken me 13 years to build up.
Yeah.
With all the trials and tribulations. I mean, literally shedding blood and all the drama and everything else like that.
Yeah.
If people feel that you could buy your way onto this platform, the platform isn't worth what I want it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to earn your place to be in that chair that you're sitting in right now.
But that's
nobody could buy their way into this.
Yeah, but that's not sports.
Well, it's legacy.
But your legacy is built on just beating everybody. Like, his legacy is not necessarily, whoa, was he the best at the time? Was he pound for pound? Did he even qualify to fight you? Like, first of all, every boxer starts off with what? Tune-ups. Like, we don't even remember the first 5 fights. Who this dude? Just tuna can. Bah, 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 bah. And then,
all right.
Right? So, like, in his legacy is already some tuna. You can't get one for $100 million because the first 5 was for free.
Right. Now, listen, Mike Tyson told Logan Paul that Floyd Mayweather is going to beat his ass.
He's going to destroy him. But I don't know for theater. See, Floyd is smart now. He's in a new business. Why destroy these dudes? You destroy our hopes and our purchasing power. Carry his ass. Just pepper him. Pat, oh. And I guarantee Floyd will be like, you want more? And when do you want to go out? Because it's going to go out when I want you to go out. Yeah. I don't care how big he is. I don't care how strong he is. If he's not skilled enough, got to get neutralized, bro.
All right. Fair enough. Are you a Wu-Tang fan?
Hell yeah. A little mad at him too, though. I was in New York, from LA in New York when they hit, and it was just annoying. But I love them.
What do you mean when they hit?
When their first album came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was annoying. Because everywhere you went, every headphones.
Yeah.
And remember, our headphones had like the cloth on it. And like every set of headphones. Wu-Tang again. Like everywhere I went. So it was a little like overwhelming, but I love them dudes. Yeah.
Have you seen Cappadonna's new album cover?
Show me. Damn, Vlad, you go to bed. He's a lion. Tarzan? I see a bear. I see a half lion. I guess that's Cappadonna. I see, what is that, an eagle? Okay, there's a joke in there, but I want to make sure I say it right. And what we talking about? What the hell is that?
Someone in the comments said that he used Microsoft Paint to make
okay, good. We're in the same lane of joke. Like, who designed that?
The lion doesn't even really match up. Like the nose is like up here. The lips don't really. No, it's not even the middle of the line. It's kind of off to the side a little too much.
That's not the album cover, like officially. Like that's.
There's a random bear and an eagle on either side.
They always talk about how rappers lose their fastball, lose the game, lose their way.
And I mean,
that's cold. Leave that man alone. Man.
Personally, I think he's trolling because he probably thought that by putting out this crazy looking album cover, people go talk about it and get more and more attention, which is what I'm giving him. Because at the end of the day, I love Cappadonna. I mean, you know, he has classic bars with Wu-Tang. I mean,
yeah. You ain't got to eulogize him now since you clowned him. But it's funny.
But this cover right here.
Hey,
I wish I was a fly on the wall when he said, "Oh, that's the one."
He didn't say
these
that
other 5. That's the winner right there.
There's no way that's an album cover that's coming out in 2020.
No, it's coming out. I think it might even be out. And he's arguing with people in the comments and everything else like that.
He all in?
Oh,
that is a demo album cover, not a real album.
No,
album
that's
cover. That's for the demo.
It's on his Instagram. Coming soon, Black Tarzan, featuring Killer Priest.
Tarzan didn't even make it all the way in the frame. Like what is that? It's like Tarzan.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm looking at the comments right now. Someone said this album cover ain't a cappuccino.
We messed up my Wu-Tang.
Cappadonna. He said it's not for you. Everything ain't for everybody, especially for those who lack understanding.
He's an artist.
It's a very Wu-Tang answer.
That's Kyrie Irving. I'm an artist. Respect my art.
He said, someone said, I hope you didn't pay anyone for this cover, my man. He said, what do you care about what kind of underwear I have? Look at my cover as my underwear. And if you know where to get some free ones, make sure to get you some. Happy New Year's. Thank you.
Who got time to go back and forth like that, Kappa? But, all right, let's be real, though. Wu-Tang's first album, RZA, whatever they were doing, wherever they were doing it, that was not like hi-fi. That was some like, yo, I got a studio where? It's like right by the kitchen, somewhere dungeon.
I got a 4-track.
It was the grimiest loops, but that's what made it authentic. Maybe he's trying to do that in the visual. That's my only reach for that. But other than, look at your face if y'all can see this fool. Man, look, that's all I got. He trying to recreate what Wu-Tang had in the beginning.
Right, this is the visual version of the recording process.
It didn't come out that way, but that was his intention.
Listen, shout out to Cappadonna. I've interviewed him before. Come back on the show, man. Let's talk our shit. Honestly, you can promote your new
Cap,
album.
As a kid.
No, I
say,
can bring it back. Cap. No, we had a classic interview. For real. And I think, listen, he knew what was going to happen when he put that out.
Yeah,
he knew. Come on now. Come on.
The best jokes to me are not the funniest. It's the worst joke. Like you ever go somewhere and somebody say a dud, you like, you can't even keep it in. You're like, yo, that was the worst shit ever. And I laugh harder at horrible jokes than I do at good ones. Yeah, so I get it.
Well, FEMA says that Los Angeles County, which is where you and I both live, is the most dangerous place to live in the U.S.
Damn.
Your wife is a doctor.
Yeah. Nurse, anesthesiologist, all that. Yeah.
Yep. And she has actually taken the vaccine.
Yeah, she has.
From what I understand, the Brazilian president said that it makes women grow beards. So did your wife actually grow a beard?
It got longer. It was already there.
It was already there.
Told y'all give a damn.
She dreaded it up?
Yeah. Oh, man, she did. She's
got a dread beard.
Oh, man. My wife, we day one pandemic, even though she has this Teflon now, she has her force field, she's still like, hell no. It's sad to see, man. It's really sad to see. In a weird way, I'm protected in my energy and my space. And I'm thankful because I am married to someone in the industry, medical industry, that protects me, lets me know what's now and what's next. But that said, man, people out there tripping. I've had family issues off of this. People don't respect responsibility the same. Like, I'm being responsible. If you're not, fine, do you. But don't try and do us. We ain't kicking it. I will see you when this is over. You look back in history and civilization, people have died over the slightest of things. But at that moment, when it hits, you got to protect yourself and be responsible. Now, cats were dying because they got sliced in the shoulder in some of the wars. And now you just put some hydrogen peroxide on it and kiss it. Like, I'm not dying over COVID, corona, if I have anything to do with it. Look, it's unfortunate that it comes no matter what your behavior is to some. And that's what's so scary about it. But doing my part, I'm doing my part. I'm just witnessing a lot that's not.
You know, the number of people who don't want to take the vaccine, to me, is a bit mind-blowing.
What's the number? Is it like?
Well, I'll tell you what. I talked to this one guy who started messaging me on Twitter.
Okay.
He has a medical company in Virginia that services hospitals.
Okay.
So they're considered, frontline workers.
Mhm.
So everyone in his company were offered the vaccine. He himself took it. 107 employees, mostly middle-aged Black men.
Okay.
How many of those people do you think took the vaccine when given the opportunity?
Framed like this, 30?
12.
Crazy. Yeah.
Out of 107 people,
Mm.
some of which had already caught COVID once.
Mm.
12.
12.
12 actually went and took it.
Yeah.
Roughly 10%.
Yeah.
That to me was very shocking.
Yeah.
But, as I talk to more people and everything else like that, Tuskegee gets brought up a lot.
Uh-huh.
And essentially people feel like they don't want to be experimented on.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife doesn't feel that way, though.
No.
Because she could have said, I don't want to take it. Because I assume it's not mandatory at her hospital.
No. She's not even working. Thankfully, we're in a position where she doesn't have to work, and she's not in that risk level, but still around the kids, and we have some sense of normalcy with our routine, our daily couple activities for the kids going to school. She still took it. Yeah, we're in a different mindset. I really don't disparage anyone who doesn't. I question what the hell you're thinking. There's a lot of misinformation over there. But this is kind of parallel to what we started off talking about in terms of what's going on in our world today and the division, when I just look at it as difference. Tuskegee and that experiment didn't happen yesterday. Like, people don't respect.
It started in the 30s and in the early 70s.
Yeah. People don't respect evolution, growth, mind change, whatever the circumstances that are different. So to go to that place and just say, I am going to stay here anchored on what happened then, I think you may be doing yourself a disservice in terms of what could be happening now. Remember before the vaccination was even close to coming out, it was a whole Bill Gates, like he's behind it and he's doing, I was like, I don't know truth from false, but I do know this. You can find reasons to take it. You can find reasons not to take it. But if my options, my consequences are potential death or harming someone else, my father, my stepmom, people who are elderly, versus taking it, I'm taking it. You don't want to take it? Hey, shorter line for me. I get it.
Yeah,
but
I'm taking it too. As soon as I get it, I am taking it. In fact, when I looked it up, I being in the news media, I'm considered in the 1C group.
Okay.
Like the first, the third wave of the first group.
Yeah.
As soon as I am able to take it,
Boom.
I am right there at the front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
If someone doesn't want to take it and there's an opportunity, because now they're dealing with people like who sign up and then don't end up going, because you see that type of thing, and then they end up having vaccine that spoils and so forth. So then they bring in anyone who wants to volunteer at that point. Anyone who doesn't want to take the vaccine, let me know. I'll go and I'll take it myself. I will take it because I got way too many. I got a dozen employees.
Yeah.
I got family I take care of. I cannot be taken out by this virus.
I'm getting a speeding ticket on the way to wherever they say.
Yeah. 2 people that I have personally interviewed have died from COVID.
Damn.
Yeah. Fred the Godson, the rapper.
Oh, yeah.
And Frank Collada, the gangster. Both of which have died from COVID.
Isn't it weird? The mystery of this one is people still seem like, in general, I'm making an assumption, a generalization, they don't take this as serious as it can have an impact. Like, what was it? Ozone? I call him Ozone all the time, but when he passed away recently.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like.
Did he die from COVID?
That's what they said. I don't know. It's just, all right, people, do you? You were given a birth certificate. You could be given a death certificate too.
Yeah, Adolfo Shabadoo Quinones.
Yeah.
65 years old.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
No, he actually tested negative for COVID.
No, that was after I heard he I don't know. I thought he was sick. Then he was tested negative. He was fine. And then 2 days later, it was over.
He died, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not exactly sure. But, I mean, look, the side effects of COVID are death. The side effects of vaccines seem to be some soreness in the arm.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Now, people are worried about the long-term effects and everything else like that. But these vaccines have actually been in development for years, for SARS and everything else like that. They were just repurposed
other diseases
for COVID.
Yeah.
So there's already been a lot of testing behind it. But man, the number of people that just do not want to take it is frightening. And if a lot of people, if you only have 12 out of 100 taking it every time, everywhere, we're never going to get to a herd immunity level, and it's going to just keep going forever.
Well, see, and that's when you're going to see the collision course between greater government, and you're already seeing it with some airlines making it like. So, look, they're right now on your own volition. Take the vaccination when you can. Oh, you don't want to? Okay, now you're going to put the power in their hands if they want to have control over this, and that will be a compromise of some of your liberties. It's going to come at that cost,
which I'm fine with.
Yeah,
because your decision is potentially affecting the life of other people around you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much misinformation out there, and then conspiracies. But look, I'm going to make sure I'm protected. Those I love are protected, but at the same time, in my own family. People looking at me sideways. I ain't doing that. I got one of my best friends. He's anti-vaccination, and he's like this one too. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna be FaceTiming for life because fuck that. Dog, I'm not losing me over our friendship or our love. Like none of y'all. So if you don't like it, all right, well, FaceTime me, bro.
I feel you, man. The anti-vaxxers really, and
yeah.
I mean, I have people that I'm cool with that still are on that, and it's one of these conversations you end up just, all right, we're just not gonna have it. We're just not gonna have it.
Yeah.
Well, what about the $4 billion that the U.S. has paid out for people that are hurt by vaccines? And I'm like, the government didn't pay out $4 billion for people that were hurt just because they were trying to cover something up.
Yeah.
The way it works is that if the vaccine companies could be sued by individuals, it would not become economically feasible to create vaccines, and they would just stop making vaccines.
They're going to tap out.
So therefore, the government created a program that taxes the vaccine companies.
Yeah.
They take that money, they put it into a pot.
Yeah.
People who feel like they were injured by vaccines, whatever, can apply to this program. And if the government feels there's any sort of weird reaction or whatever, which is going to happen with everything, they will pay you out a certain amount of money as a settlement.
Yeah.
Not because you won in a lawsuit. And as someone who's been through lawsuits,
settlement is the way.
People have to understand that you think from the outside that you settle with someone because you're guilty. No, you settle with someone because it costs you $30,000 to settle or $500,000 to go to court and win. So you just give them the $30,000 to settle and you keep it moving, you go on with your life.
And save your peace, time, energy, and money.
There's never been there's never been an anti-vaxxer that sued and won in a court of law from a jury.
It's funny, that whole ecosystem too, because they have that money, that war chest as they call it, because they have it in the NFL with NFLPA and NFL. Like, we have a side fund in case y'all want to go to war. We got the money already. It happens. Yeah. So the funny thing is, the only thing I saw was like, if I want to give the conspiracy theorists some fuel, and this is not even a conspiracy theory, this is real. The first batch of vaccines cost $18. The second one went to $19. Them suckers said, oh, you want more? It's going to cost you $1 more. Like, the ethics is just out the door. They just like, we're trying to get paid too, which I get it's a business to make vaccines, but that was a little head scratcher.
Yeah, man. We have this one medical doctor from Las Vegas, Dr. Khan, who we bring on.
Yeah, I've seen before.
That talks about, and he's an actual medical doctor who works in Las Vegas that's been treating COVID patients since the start. He's had 32 people die under his watch, some of which were healthy 30 and 40-year-olds.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah.
He was saying how there's people all the ICU beds are all filled in his hospital. There's people literally lined up in the hallways now, waiting to be treated and so forth like that. He took the vaccine and he just recently took the second dose.
Yeah.
I mean, me and him were going back and forth on Twitter. I said, so does the second dose protect you against 5G? He said, no, 5G is an undefeatable evil. I said, well, what would they need to do is take all the 5G towers and go to the edge of the flat earth and just
toss
them all off.
Say, what's up, Kyrie?
Just toss them off the side of the earth, off the edge, into whatever space, is off the edge of the earth. Yeah, man.
Leave people alone, man. You gotta leave people alone. Like, I'm comfortable in just like, okay, you don't want to do this? All right, peace. I am not going to be pulled by some social tension that, oh man, you tripping. I'm like, no, you're tripping, but I'm going to let you trip. And hopefully you don't fall in the grave, fool. But do you? That's all on you, bro. I'm doing me.
That's what it is. Marcellus Wiley, always a pleasure, man. Congratulations, man. Congratulations on the show.
Thank you, brother.
Congratulations on your family. How's the pandemic baby doing?
Oh, I got to end with the story. All right, so I have a 9-month-old that obviously is a pandemic baby, and we have almost a 2-year-old. So because of the pandemic, for half of the 2-year-old's life, hasn't seen a lot of people. So we went to the zoo. They had an appointment viewing, very limited, all that socially distanced. All right. My daughter, because she'd been locked in for 9 months, every person she saw, she was like, Gardner? Like, she didn't know anybody but Gardner. The only person she seen every week was a Gardner. Everybody was a Gardner. We're like, no, that's a person. Hi. She didn't even know how to say hello. She was like, Gardner? My other baby, just poor her. She just looks, this is all she does. Because she's just cabin fever. She doesn't know what's going on. So, hey, it's going to be interesting to see how they turn out. Can't wait till they get to college. And I was like, yep, I saw that coming during that damn pandemic.
Oh, that's what it is. Marcellus Wiley, man. Until next time.
My dog.
Peace.
Yes, sir.